bit of trouble with my internet, so I had to go live again. It is the UFC 319 preview. Are you checking it up? Um, it's the 28th of July, Monday. So we are officially 3 weeks. We're 3 weeks away from the biggest card of the year, my biggest card of the year, the biggest fights of the year. The only fight that matters in the UFC right now, which is DDP, the African champion, the African king, the king of Africa, is taking on the scariest fighter in the UFC, the fighter that no one wants to fight, that no one wants a piece of, and that's Khamzat Boss Chimaev. Mvelanjan, love. Yeah, man, it's a big fight going down in Chicago, Illinois. So I just wanted to go live for you guys and just give you a preview of what I think about the main card. It was announced. Just wanted to give you guys a preview of what I think. Okay, man, it is a UFC 319. UFC 319 preview. The card is going down in a couple of weeks. 3 weeks in particular. DDP versus Khamzat. I did wish that we were still able to show up the green screen because I did have a picture of the full main card prediction, or rather the full main card that was announced at UFC Abu Dhabi. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow us to put up the green screen. Nipple to Nipple Combats is live. What's up, my bro? That's one of the biggest YouTubers in South Africa right now. It's good to know that you're still alive, man. We haven't seen you on YouTube in a while. What's going on, man? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. And we miss you on YouTube. Nipple to Nipple MMA. If you do not know who that is, please go check him out. Nipple to Nipple MMA. One of the best MMA YouTubers in the country, or actually on the continent right now. It's good to see you, my brother. Nipple to Nipple MMA. Please go check him out. Uh, One of the best MMA YouTubers in the country right now. Go check him out. That's another comment from my boy Nipple to Nipple MMA. He's saying I am back. Oh, he is coming back. Please come back, my brother. We miss you. We haven't been live in a long time. We miss your predictions. We miss your live reactions. Come back. Again, guys, it is the UFC 319 preview. First of all, guys, please tell me if you can see me well. I'm having a bit of trouble with my phone. So if you can see me well, please tell me. And if you can't, please tell me. Try and get that fixed. Hopefully you can see me well right now. Oh, Sunday uzobingelela. UFC 319, guys, it's going down on the 16th of August. DDP versus Khamzat. That's the big fight. This is the fight we're all excited for. And 3 weeks. I am excited. And obviously, I am South African. I bleed South African air. I mean, I breathe in South African air. I breathe out South African air. So I'm not even being biased, guys. But I am going with Dracos du Plessis. And I'm not just saying that because he's our champion. But I am going with Dracos, not just because he's South African, but because I do believe that he wins. I do believe he wins. I believe he's got the better cardio. I believe he's got the better experience when it comes to championship fights. or at least championship caliber fights. Dracus has been a champion in other promotions. He was a champion at in EFC, which is a South African promotion, and he has gone 5 rounds in that promotion. He was also a champion at KSW. If you don't know what KSW, at least the high experience, the highest level in MMA right now. When we look at the last 3 opponents that they faced between Ramzat and Dracus, Dracus Duplessis has defeated Sean Strickland not once but twice, dominated him 2 times. Dracus defeated Robert Whitaker. It was a second round TKO, which was very, very impressive. And Robert Whitaker did say when Dracus was fighting him, that was the best version of him that he had brought to the octagon. So if we were to look at Khamzat Chimaev's last opponents, it's Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker was coming off of a loss when he faced Khamzat, and I don't even know who he faced before Robert Whitaker. That's another thing when it comes to Khamzat is him not being active enough. I feel like that's gonna play a factor in his fights. Dracus tries to fight at least 2 times a year. Khamzat, we're lucky if he even gets 1 fight a year. So I feel like being active also plays a factor when it comes to this fight. And Khamzat, man, he has pulled out of a couple fights. Luckily, it seems like he's not going to pull out of this fight. Let's hope that he doesn't pull out. DDP versus Khamzat is the biggest fight of the year. It's the biggest fight that the UFC have put on this year. And yeah, man, I am not being biased, but I do believe that Khamzat will lose come August 16th. Khamzat Chimaev would be undefeated no more. But yeah, guys, that is my prediction. Let's read a few comments. My boy Nipple to Nipple has got a few comments here. He's saying, let's go DDP. Yeah, all good, brother. Sound is good as well. Thank you for that. Another comment from my brother Nipple to Nipple. I also believe his win, brother. He is too thick for Khamzat to squeeze. Yeah. Let's get into that, man. I feel like one of the biggest questions we have is what's gonna happen when the fight goes to the ground. We do know that it is gonna go to the ground, and the question is when the fight does go to the ground, when it does go to the ground, and it will go to the ground, who is gonna win in the grappling exchanges? Obviously Khamzat has the better wrestling, that's for sure. But in my opinion, I feel like DDP has the better grappling. He's if I'm not mistaken, I think Dracus Duplessis is a black belt. I think he's a black belt, but I could be wrong. And I think Khamzat Chimaev is a black belt as well. But again, guys, I could be wrong. But I feel like DDP has the ground because he does go for submissions a bit more. And also, when you're on the ground and you're chasing these submissions, you do get tired because you expend a lot of energy. It takes a lot to take a big man down, and it takes a lot to actually squeeze a guy. Because when you're squeezing, you're also extending a lot of energy when you're going for these rear naked chokes and you're going for guillotines. You're applying a lot of muscle. So you are wasting a lot of energy, or not really wasting, but you are expanding a lot of energy when you're going for these submissions. And I feel like in those submissions, Khamzat Chimaev could pass out in those submissions, at least when he's going for those submissions attempts. And I feel like that's where DDP could have the advantage, because we know that DDP, as much as he has been taken down by People like Derek, fighters like Derek Bronson, Robert Whitaker took him down. Who else? And earlier in his UFC career, he has been taken down, but he doesn't stay there. He does get up. And we did see Hamza Chimaev struggle against Gilbert Burns, who is a welterweight, who used to be a lightweight. He struggled against Gilbert Burns on the ground. So DDP is a middleweight who should be fighting at light heavyweights. That's how big DDP is. So I believe that on the ground, Dracus has the advantage and the better ground game. But again, guys, that's just my opinion. I'm not being biased at all because Drake is a South African. I'm just giving you what I think. Let's go and read a few comments before we continue. Um, we've got Shivan Patel saying cha cha. Not sure what that means. We've got Navilius 1988 saying hey. Not sure what language that is. And then we've got Andile Kendrick saying thumbs up for the kill, bro. Andile, it's kind of sad, man, because Andile, I'm assuming is South African. That is a South African name. Andile Jaya, going to South African champ, man. You are South African. Okay, maybe Hamzat is your favorite fight, so I don't know, that's your opinion. But again, let's check my connection. It is a 50-55. Yes, if it's live, la, what the manje? Lutho the manje. Yeah, boys, we're having a bit of trouble with my internet, so I think we're live again. I think it's fixed. Let me check one more time. Yeah, we're still live. So again, guys, UFC 319. My official prediction for the main events. I'm going with Dracus, boys. I'm going with Dracus. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with Dracus, boys. And I'm not being biased at all. I do believe that Dracus has the better skill sets. Dracus is the live. What the manje? Yeah, boys, Dracus is the high caliber fighter. Yeah, boys, Dracus is the high caliber fighter. He's got much more experience than Hamza Chimaev. And I do believe that Dracus gets the W, boys. I am predicting round 3 TKO for Steel Knox. Now bear with me. Round 3 TKO for Dracus. I believe that Dracus will get a TKO over Hamzat. As much as going to the on the grappling of both guys, the wrestling of both guys, and mostly I've been a fan of the UFC for a while, and I've noticed that when you go into fights and fighters are talking about striking and we're gonna strike the entire time, it normally becomes a grappling and a wrestling match. And then vice versa, when fighters are always talking about I've got better wrestling than you, I've got better grappling than you. I'll take the fight to the ground and I'll submit you there. When they talk about grappling and wrestling, most of the time, we get a striking match, and I feel like that's what we're gonna get with Khamzat. I feel like the fans are gonna get a main event that's gonna be worth every single penny that they're gonna spend on, and I believe it will not be a snooze fest. It'll be a striking match, and I do believe that they're gonna come out round 1. Dracus is gonna be calm. No. Round 1, Dracus is gonna be aggressive. And I feel like Khamzat is gonna be calm. He's gonna keep the fight standing. Maybe hurt Dricus on the feet, get excited, maybe get a 10-8 round. Then come into round two. Khamzat is gassed. Dracus notices that Khamzat is gassed. And then Dracus tries and goes for the kill. And then Dracus gets a 10-9 round. And then we go into round three. And I feel like Dracus in round three decides to just go all in, uh, completely go at Hamza Chimaev and gets the TKO. But I could be wrong. Maybe Dracus gets a submission somehow, some way. But I just believe that Dracus is the better fighter and that he somehow gets the W, man. So that's my official prediction for UFC 319. The main events is Hamza Chimaev loses, and the DDP gets the W, boys. We've got a comment here from Orlando Portillo. He's saying, yo, I have a team in 170. Not sure what that means, Orlando, but the co-main event for UFC 319. The co-main event. It's a massive co-main event. Well, not, at UFC 319. It was announced that the UFC would announce the UFC 319 co-main events in the upcoming weeks. And when I saw TPD versus TPD for the co-main events, when I saw TPD versus when I saw TBD versus TPD for the co-main events, I was hoping we would get a much more exciting fight, man. I was hoping for maybe a top 10 fights in the lightweight division, or even a top 10 fights in the light heavyweight division. Maybe a Jiri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree, or maybe Paddy the Baddy versus Justin Gaethje. Maybe even Aman Sarukian, man. Aman Sarukian is in camp right now. Maybe Aman Sarukian versus Dan Hooker. Unfortunately, it wasn't any of those fights. I know for a fact that the UFC were trying to give us an exciting co-main event. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But what we did get is Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico is debuting. I think this is the second fighter in UFC history from Bellator to debut on a massive pay-per-view. Because UFC 319 is a massive pay-per-view, and for the UFC to give a former Bellator champion the co-main event of a massive pay-per-view speaks a lot, man. Adam Pico, I haven't watched any of his fights, but I have seen highlights. He looks like he's got a lot of power in his right hand and left hand. UFC 357, I think it was. Conor McGregor got over Dan Hooker. And I feel like that's what the UFC are hoping for when it comes to Adam Pico. I think that's what the UFC are hoping for when it comes to Aaron Pico, is for them to have another high caliber fighter added to the featherweight division. But yeah, man, Aaron Pico is going up against Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy has been in the UFC for a while now. He's been in the rankings, I think, for a couple of years now. His last was against Dan Ige. against Dan Ige at UFC 308. The Ilias Uporia versus Max Holloway card. It was a good fight. Ron Murphy versus Dan Ige. It could have no. That's my mistake. Leron Murphy's last fight was against Josh. Was it against Josh Emmett? But I think he had a 5 rounder. I think he had a 5 round fight against someone. I think it is Josh Emmett. I could be mistaken, guys. Do you remember what Laurent Murphy's last fight was? I'm not sure if it was against Dan Ige, UFC 308, or against Josh Emmett. But between those two guys, man, either way, he did win both those fights. They were impressive wins. And I don't really have much knowledge on Aaron Pico to give an official prediction because I will be honest, guys, I haven't really watched an Aaron Pico fight. I've never been a fan of Bellator. I've only seen his highlights, so I don't know how skilled he is, what he brings to the table against Laurent Murphy. Uh, I'm not sure about the caliber of fighters that he's faced. Adam Pico. I'm just being honest, boys. So I'm not gonna give a prediction for the co-main events, which is Laurent Murphy versus Adam Pico. I'll do a bit more research in him. I'll watch a few of his fights, and then I'll come back and give you guys a proper prediction for Laurent Murphy versus Adam Pico. So then we move on from the co-main event to uh, another fight that has been booked for UFC 319. It was supposed to happen at UFC 314 in April in Miami, but we're getting it at UFC 318. My boy, uh, the wild boy in the welterweight division, Carlos Prates is back. Carlos Prates is back, boys. Another fight that has been booked for you. Again, guys, please tell me if you can see me well. I'm not sure I'm not sure if I'm having a bit of a problem with my. Again, guys, please tell me if you can see me well. I'm not sure I'm not sure if I'm having a bit of a problem with my. Again, guys, please tell me if you can see me well. I'm not sure if I'm having a bit of a problem with my YouTube right now, but we move on from the co-main event to um a fight that was supposed to happen in April. We're getting it at UFC 319. Carlos Prates, the smoker, is back against Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal pulled out in April. Not sure what the injury was, but I did hear that he was hurt. So we're getting the fights, man. I was very excited when that fight was announced for UFC 314. And again, I am very excited that this fight is announced for UFC 319. Carlos Prates, man, one of my favorite fighters in the UFC right now, for sure. Top five, my top five fighters in the UFC right now. Every time he's in there, it's a banger, man. Carlos Prates reminds me of a prime Anderson Silva, a sniper on the feet, a technician when it comes to the striking department, and just a cool guy, man. I mean, the guy comes out, he walks out to Rick Ross, you know, he's smoking before fights, cigarettes, he's smoking cigarettes before fights. He seems like he doesn't care. That he goes in there and he kind of enters the matrix. You know, he blocks shots and he gets crazy finishes. So Carlos Prates, what top five favorite fighters in the UFC right now. He's back. He's facing Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal, a real veteran in the in the welterweight division. Again, man, we have to remember, man, Jeff Neal has a victory over Bilal Muhammad. So, yeah, man, Jeff Neal is the real veteran. Has been in the UFC for a while now. So, it's a tough test. It's a tough test for both men. It's a tough test for both guys. But I believe that Jeff Neal has a real problem with Carlos Prates, man. Carlos Prates is the technician on the feet. One of the best strikers in the UFC right now, and I don't know how Jeff Neal defeats Carlos Prates, because neither guys are gonna take this fight to the ground. That's for sure. Both guys are content with striking. Both guys are content with being on the feet. Both guys are known for striking, man. That's what they're known for. So I believe it's gonna be a striking match, and if it's a striking match, I'm always gonna give the win to Carlos Prates. If it's a completely striking match, Carlos Prates will forever have the advantage, and for that reason alone, I believe that Carlos Prates gets the knockout. Jeff Neal has been knocked out before. He's coming off an injury. He was injured. So yeah, man. Carlos Prates has the advantage on this one. I feel we get like a round two TKO for Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is coming off of a loss against Ian Gary. It was a short notice fight. He held his own. He almost got a TKO in round five. So he's back this weekend. No, not this weekend. He's back at UFC 319 against Jeff Neal. I believe that he wins. I believe he gets the TKO in round two. I believe he Jeff Neal, man. I believe he dominates Jeff Neal, and he gets the left hand and he TKOs him. That's my prediction for that fight. And then we move on to another banger, man. Another banger. I would say, for me, on paper, the best fight on the card for UFC 319. MVP Michael Venom Page is back against the killer gorilla Jared Cannonier. A big fight, man. A big fight. A big fight at middleweights. I'm surprised that MVP decided to stay at middleweight. But then again, man, it does make sense. He fought Scara Bullet. Scara Bullet was fighting this weekend against that Canadian guy, Marc Andre, or whatever his name is. And he looked well. So it shows that MVP is at the highest level when it comes to striking, man. MVP is at the highest level when it comes to striking. He completely shut down Scara Bullets at UFC Saudi Arabia, and I was very impressed, man. One of the best performances I had ever seen from Michael Venom Page in the UFC, and I was very happy for him, man. A lot of people were doubting him in that. I was not one of those people. I was not one of those people. I want to make that sure. I had MVP beating Scara Bullets, and I was very happy when he won, because a lot of people were telling me that I'm just a casual. Scara Bullets is gonna run through MVP, and I was right, man. MVP won that fight, and he's back this weekend. He's fighting the killer gorilla, the man who does not age, Jared Cannonier, man. Jared Cannonier is coming into this fight. I think he's 41 years old now. He's coming into this fight. He's 41 years old. But at 41 years old, he's still having one of the best fights in the UFC, man. He's coming off of a loss to Carlio Borralho. Again, man, Carlio Borralho, the number 2 ranked middleweights in the world, a young guy who fights to finish the fights every single time. And the fact that Jared Cannonier was able to hold his own against a young man in Carlo Borralho shows that He's still one of the best at 41 years old, guys. Jared Cannonier is 41 years old. He's still one of the best guys at middleweights. But Michael Venom Page, man, Michael Venom Page is just different. Like when it comes to the striking, he's just different, man. Like he'll bounce around from a distance and then papa out of nowhere hits you with the 1-2, and then you're on the floor. You know, like he'll give you the distance. You know, he'll bounce around. He'll smile at you. Like he'll point at you. He'll kind of play mind games, and then bah elbow, bah spinning kick. So Michael Venom Page, man, I if he comes into this fight and he's healthy and he's not dealing with any serious injuries, I do believe that his striking will be too much for Jared Cannonier. I believe that um I believe that Jared Cannonier's age will be a factor in this fight. As much as he has held his own against uh, the top middleweights in his last few fights, but the age is kind of it is getting to him now. And again, guys, as much as Jared Cannonier is 41 years old, you also have to remember that Michael Venom Page is 39, or at least he's turning 39 this year. But he is the fastest striker. I believe for this fight, Michael Venom Page will get a decision. I was hoping this was gonna be the co-main event for UFC 319, and I was hoping that it was gonna be 5 rounds. Unfortunately, it's 3 rounds. But we take what the UFC gives us. So for that fight, I believe that MVP will get a unanimous decision. I think that he'll dominate Jared Cannonier for 3 rounds straight. He will keep the distance, and he'll pick his shots from a distance, and he'll get the W. So my official prediction for Michael Venom Page versus Jared Cannonier, I've got Michael Venom Page MVP unanimous decision. But again, if you disagree, tell me below. If you agree, tell me below. Um, that's my prediction for MVP versus Jared Cannonier. We've got a comment here from Gator. Gator says, "What do you think will be fights of the night?" Well, Gator, um, I'm still not sure what the prelims. I haven't seen the prelims for UFC 319. I'll do my reaction or my preview on the prelims for the UFC 319 prelims later, because I'm not sure who's on the prelims. But on the main card, what I believe will be fights of the nights, I think, man, I think it's gonna be Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal. Carlos Prates, man, he's always in a fun fight. He does not know what a boring fight is. I believe that that would be our fight of the night, or at least on the co-main. I mean, on the main card, because I haven't seen the prelims for UFC 319. It's still 3 weeks away, so I'll do another preview for UFC 319 in the later during the weeks, um, the prelims. But for the main card, I believe Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal, man. That's definitely a banger. But again, guys, back to the main card preview. Um, for Michael Venom Page versus Jared Cannonier, I believe that MVP will be too fast. I believe that MVP will be too sharp. I believe that MVP will manage the distance. I believe MVP will get the unanimous decision over Jared Cannonier. And then we move on to a banger fight, man. Another banger fight. In the flyweight division, the main card opener, we've got Kaya Sakura versus Tim Elliott. Kaya Sakura, this is his second fight in the UFC. He made his debut last year in December against the champion Alexandre Pantoja. He had a few good moments in round one. He had that flying knee. I still don't know how Alexandre Pantoja ate that flying knee, man. Like it got him right on the nose. But Alexandre Pantoja is such a savage. He does not care if he gets hit. Um, that was a good fight. At least a good performance for Kaya Sukura for as long as it lasted. It did get caught with the submission, but Alexandra Pantoja, man, is just levels and levels and levels above the entire flyweight division. I did predict that Alexandra Pantoja will retire with the belt, and I'm still keeping. I'm still on that prediction, guys. I feel like Alexandra Pantoja will retire with the flyweight strap around his waist. He's just that good. But yeah, man. Back to the main card opener. Kaya Sukura versus Tim Elliott. It should be a fun one. It should be a fun one at flyweight. I'm curious. I did think that Kaya Sukura would maybe move up to bantamweight because I didn't like how he looked on the scales, man. Like, you know, when fighters are making weights and they're all skinny and they look like they're skeletons, like it's kind of scary and it doesn't look nice. And I don't like when fighters focus more on making weight than actually training to prepare for the fight. It doesn't look good, but it's whatever, man. It's their decision. So Kaya Sakura versus Tim Elliott again, man. It will be a striking fight. Tim Elliott obviously has way more experience when it comes to fighting the elite at flyweight. But all that experience does not matter if you lost almost all those fights. Tim Elliott has been in the flyweight division for a very long time now. He's faced the best. He's faced your Davison Figueredo, um, your Brandon Moreno. He's been in there with Alexandre Pantoja, your Manel Cap, your Steve Usyk. He's been in there with all of them, but that doesn't matter if he almost. I mean, he loses most of those fights, so I don't think that experience really matters. But yeah, man. Uh, Kaya Sakura was the champion at that big promotion in Japan. Forgot the name of the promotion, but he was the champion net before he came into the UFC. He was knocking guys out, and I believe that for this fight, he knows that he has to get a spectacular finish. Like he has to go in there and really get the KO. I mean, he does fight to get the finish. He's a kill or be killed fighter, and that's what I love about Kaya Sakura. Um, I believe in this fight. He I think he gets a KO. I think he gets a clean KO over Tim Elliott. I feel like the UFC knew what they were doing when they decided to give Kaya Sakura this fight. It's because Kaya Sakura is such a big name in Japan, man, and not just Japan, like in Asia. He's like what Kaya Sakura is in Asia is what Dracus Duplessis is in Africa. What Islam Makachev is in those Russian those Russian countries. What Kaya Sakura is in Asia is what Alexander Volkanovski is in New Zealand and Australia, or what Paddy Pimblett is in the UK. So the UFC knew that in the second fight they had to give him a winnable fight, and I understand the decision. You know, Kaya Sakura is a moneymaker when it comes to the Asian markets. So I believe that Kaya Sakura does win this fight. I believe that he gets the KO over Tim Elliott. I believe um, Kaya Sakura is just a better fighter, man. He's just a better fighter than Tim Elliott. Yeah, man. Kaya Sakura is just levels and levels above Tim Elliott. Um, yeah, Kaya Sakura. I'm going round 1 KO. Round 1 KO. I think Kaya Sakura throws a crazy flying knee in the first round, and opens up UFC 319 with a banger. I feel like he might do what Rufi did against Bobby Green at but yeah, UFC 319, the main card. It's a beautiful main card, man. It's a great main card. We haven't been getting solid pay-per-views for a while now. And UFC Abu Dhabi last week was better than almost half of the pay-per-views that we had this entire year thus far. So I'm excited for UFC 319. It's a big card. I think almost all the fights on the pay-per-view, in a way, title eliminators. So big ups to the UFC, big ups to Mick Maynard, big ups to Hunter Campbell, big ups to the bald man, Dana White, for giving us a beautiful pay-per-view, man. One thing I do wish they could have done is maybe um, give us a better co-main event. If the UFC had given us like a solid main event, maybe Jiri versus Khalil Roundtree, or Paddy the Baddy versus Justin Gaethje, or Aman Sarukian versus Dan Hooker, or maybe even I don't know, man. Maybe even another big fights at featherweight. But out of 10, I would rate UFC 319 a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 because the co-main events should have been bigger. The co-main events should have been a bigger name. But I don't think that the UFC audience are really aware of who Lerone Murphy is and Adam Pico. Lerone Murphy is not the most exciting fighter, and just had to check if we're still live. I've got a problem with my internet. So yeah, man, out of 10, I would rate the UFC 319 main card a 7. I would have liked the UFC to have done a better job with the co-main events. Maybe a top 10 fights at lightweight, a top 10 fights at light heavyweights. Maybe Dominic Reyes versus I don't know, versus someone, man. Maybe Dominic Reyes versus Rakic. You know what I mean? Just a much more like a bigger fight. A fight that we know is gonna deliver. Like we don't know if Lerone Murphy versus Adam Pico is gonna deliver. I can guarantee you now, man. The MMA casuals do not know who Adam Pico is, and most of the MMA casuals don't even know who Lerone Murphy is. If we're being honest. But it's a big fight it's featherweights. Can Aaron Pico hang with the best in the world at featherweights, or is Lerone Murphy just levels and levels above the former Bellator champion? We're gonna find out August 16th. Um, Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. It's a big fight. Both guys looking to get a fight against someone in the top 10 at welterweight. Both guys climbing the welterweight ladder, trying to get a shot at Jack Della Maddalena. Carlos Prates versus Benil. No. Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal. will be a banger. It will be an exciting fight. It will not disappoint. That I can guarantee you. And then we go on to Michael Venom Page against Jared Cannonier. It's a big fight at middleweight. Both guys are here to prove that they belong amongst the best at middleweight. MVP, can he crack into the top 10? Jared Cannonier at 41 years old. Does he still have one more title run left in him? We're going to find out August 16th in Chicago, Illinois at UFC 319. And then we go on to the main opener. A nice card, a nice fight to open up the main card. Kaya Sakura versus Tim Elliott. That's an easy win for Kaya Sakura. It's a nice fight for him to reintroduce himself to the UFC fans. He lost against Pantoja for the belts last year. He's getting a favorable fight at flyweight against the veteran and Tim Elliott. I believe he wins that fight. I believe he wins that fight easily. I believe he gets the KO in that fight. And I cannot wait, man. Cannot wait. And obviously the fight that we're all looking forward to. And in my opinion, the biggest fight of this year, the biggest fight of 2025 is DDP, Dracus, Still Knox, Dracus Duplessis. Yella, what does he say? Yella ons Vietney. You know, they don't know what we know. Us South Africans know what Dracus is bringing to the table. He's fighting the Russian werewolf, Khamzat Chimaev, the most avoided fighter in the UFC right now, undefeated, the scariest fighter that the UFC has had in a very, very long time. Excited for that fight, man. Excited for that fight. I believe, again, guys, I'm not being biased because I'm South African. I believe that just Dracus has the better experience. Dracus has the better cardio. Dracus has the advantage on the feet. Dracus has the advantage on the grappling. And Dracus, just physically, man, physically is much bigger than Khamzat Chimaev. So at UFC 319, Dracus Duplessis is gonna shock the world once again, man. Dracus will shock the world once again. He will show us that he is one of the greatest middleweights of all time. He's coming for the greatest middleweights of all time title. And I think that Dracus Duplessis will TKO Khamzat Chimaev in round 3. And I know a lot of people are going to be going crazy in the comments saying there's no way Dracus beats Khamzat. There's no way Dracus will win. Listen, guys, remember in 2023 when we said that there's no way Dracus beats Robert Whittaker? We're here now. We're here now. Dracus is the champion. Dracus is the number 4 pound for pound fighter in the world. We're living in crazy times, man. It's going down August 16th in Chicago, Illinois. My prediction, Dracus round 2. Round 3 TKO. That is my official prediction for that fight. But let me know what you guys think below, man. And again, guys, if I were to rate that main card, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. It's a 7 out of 10. It is a beautiful card. A lot of great fights, but I feel like the UFC could have done better on the co-main event. Especially because the UFC are coming to Chicago for the first time in I think in 7 years, I think it is. So they could have gave them a better co-main event. But it doesn't matter though. We've still got a huge number of fights ahead of us. What do you think, guys? Rate my hands. I've been trying to do this. What's this guy? The boxing guy. Uh, Ryan. Ryan, whatever. Kind of does this fast thing with his hands. I've been trying to practice that for a while now. But yeah, guys. UFC 319, man, it's a beautiful card. My preview predictions are in. Dracus gets the W. Dracus gets the W, man. Dracus gets the W. But I'm still live, guys. If you have any questions on UFC 319 or any questions just on the UFC at all, man, if please comment below. Do not be shy. Just on the UFC at all, man. If comment below, boys. Do not be shy. I'm here to answer all of your questions, man. Any and whatever questions you have, I'm here to answer them. Let's look back at a few comments that I may have missed. I think I answered all of your questions. So yeah, boys. We are still live. UFC 319 going down in 3 weeks. You've got any predictions? You've got any questions on UFC 319? You've got any questions on the UFC at all, man? I'm here to answer them. We're done with the UFC 319 preview. The main card is out. The official UFC 319 main card is out. I've done the predictions for the main card. I will be doing the predictions for. I will be doing my preview for the UFC 319 prelims. Later this week. Yeah. Again, guys, please like, subscribe to my channel, guys. I'm trying to. I have to boost my subscribers, man. I have to boost my subscribers. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal. 1,000 subscribers before the end of August, man, or 1,000 subscribers before UFC 319. That is the goal. So in less than 3 weeks, I am going for 1,000 subscribers, man. To all my UFC fans, to all my MMA fanatics, man, I'm here for you guys. If you love MMA, subscribe to my channel. Check out my channel. I guarantee you will love my channel. If you love the UFC, if you love MMA, check out my channel. It is for you. It is for you, the MMA fans. Yeah, boys. Yeah, boys, I am done with the predictions or the preview for the UFC 318 main card. So, I mean, if you've got any questions, man, UFC 319 or UFC just in general, man, please do not be shy. Hit the comments below, boys. Yeah, again, guys, any questions on the UFC? Just comment below. And it seems like you guys aren't really there, so I'm gonna have to end this live. Thank you to everyone that commented. Thank you to the new subscribers that we got. So UFC 319, it's going down in 3 weeks. Um, yeah, guys, it's at Zar-Kombat. Um, looks like we've got few people in the chat. So, guys, I'm about to leave. If you've got any questions on the UFC, on UFC 319, just tell me below before I end the stream. I will be leaving soon, so I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to ask me any questions on the UFC if you've got questions. It's UFC 319, man. It's a big card. Uh, Still Knox, Boars, DDP, Khamzat. It's going down in Chicago. Any comments on the UFC, boys? So I'm gonna try and wrap this up for you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. It's at Zar-Kombat, ZAR KOMBAT. Subscribe for MMA content. Subscribe for all UFC content. Subscribe for just MMA and combat sports in general, boys. It's been nice. I enjoyed being on live with you guys. I enjoyed previewing the main card for UFC 319. Rob backing Triggers Du Plessis here in South Africa. Yeah, boys, like, subscribe. Thank you again for joining the stream. It's been cool. I'm gonna have to wrap this up now. Okay, guys, it's at Zar-Kombat, ZAR-KOMBAT. That is the handle. Check me out. Any and all MMA news, we break it here first. Breaking news, you got it here. Live reactions, you got it here. Live streaming, you've got it here. It's been nice, guys. I'll see you on the next stream. I posted a video on my channel on the Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett to see where that fight is going, whether it's happening or not. Go check that video out. Ilya Porter has been talking a lot about boxing, so I've got a video on him. I've got a reaction on him potentially going into boxing if he does. Please go check that out. And go check out just go, guys, just go check out my channel, and guaranteed you will love my channel. Guaranteed, if you're an MMA fan, you'll be a fan of my channel. And subscribe, guys. Subscribe for more MMA news. Subscribe for all UFC news. I'm the first guy to bring you breaking news. And yeah, boys, it's been fun. I'm gonna have to end the live stream now. Again, it's at Zar-Kombat, ZAR-KOMBAT, all the way from Durban, South Africa. It's been cool. It's been nice. It's time to end the stream, boys. See you. I'll be live on Saturday for Albazi versus whoever is fighting. I'm not sure. I think Albazi pulled out of the main event this weekend, so I'm not sure who is gonna step in for him. But I'll be live for UFC this Saturday again, so look out for my live stream. And yeah, boys, it's been cool, man. Stay safe out there, and yeah, Zar-Kombat signing out. Peace.